We win with Lightning Bolt. Hello, my friends, it's Johnaroth, and today I am playing with another new Edge of Eternity's commander, Kilo, Apogee Mind. Kilo is a haste 3/3 for 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 white, and whenever he becomes tapped, you proliferate, which means you add +1 onto counters. So there's 3 different ways you can build this specific commander. You could build like a counters deck, adding counters to multiple creatures. You could do a poison type deck where you do poison counters on your opponent and then you proliferate to add more poison counters, poison them to death. Or you could go the magical third way, of which I have chosen, which is Planeswalkers. So there are a lot of Planeswalkers in this deck. There is Tesseret, Karn, Brawl, Chandra, the Eternal Wanderer, Elspeth, a ton of Planeswalkers. The second element that we have for this deck is a lot of control type spells, such as Tail's End, Counterspell, Strict Serenade, etc. We have a ton of board wipes because this is not a creature heavy deck, such as Split Up, Day of Judgment, Wrath of God, etc., because we care more about Planeswalkers than we do creatures. And then the final element, I did include some cards in here that allow you to tap Kilo without having him attack. So if you want to get that proliferate effect, but you don't want him to attack and do like a 6/6 creature, we have cards like Springleaf Drum, Uthros, etc. So let us take Kilo, Apogee Mind, into the queue and see if we can proliferate our way to some victories. Let's go. Okay, our very first game is against Azusa. This is not probably going to be a very good matchup for us. I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. It does have some removal counter spells. We'll do the best we can with this, but I see a lot of people playing Azusa recently. With the addition of Strip Mine into the pool, Azusa decks have gotten more popular because if you have Graveyard Recursion, you can keep playing Strip Mine and destroying your opponent's lands, which is pretty crazy. Let's put down the Meticulous Archive. Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is good against his ramp cards. We will keep that. Unless he has a Utopia Sprawl. But if he plays like a Delighted Halfling or an elf or something, we can put down a land, play the Arcane Signet, and then kill off the elf. Oh, he has a Chrome Mox, so we're in trouble already. Okay. As a druid class, let's put down the Aganjo, and let's get out an Arcane Signet. Unfortunately, he is going to be able to play his commander. So he'll probably just play his whole hand out here. Actually, because of the druid class, I'm going to kill off Azusa and win the game. The reason why typically when you play Azusa on the battlefield, you can play all the lands you can right away and there's no chance for your opponent to respond. However, in this case, because he had a druid class out, each land that he plays, he gains life. So there's a pause where we can respond to that, and we killed off Azusa. So he isn't going to be able to play multiple lands. So on our turn, we're going to have another land out, and we're going to have a mana drain up so we can counter Azusa again. And at that point, Azusa is too expensive to be effective. So in this case, their enchantment actually hurt them in that game. So good first game. We win with Lightning Bolt. Second game is against Terra, Magical Adept. This hand has some ramp, some early game removal. This is actually okay. This isn't too bad. We're going to go ahead and keep this. Basically, when Terra enters, you mill 5 cards and you put an enchantment back into your hand, and you can also transform Terra for 6 mana. It's an enchantment deck, so she's going to have a lot of enchantments to try to either get back from the graveyard or those types of things. And our opponent, I just noticed it has the avatar that is our commander, Kilo. So maybe our opponent is a fan of us and wants us to win, right? I assume so. Sargrass, you want us to win, right? Yeah, thought so. Our opponent is mulliganing his hand. Thinking carefully here. Put down the steam vents untapped because I want to keep up the lightning bolt in case he has a delighted halfling or a Llanowar elf or any of that type of stuff. I'm hoping he does have one that we can kill, but we'll see. Opponent's thinking carefully about what type of land to get. Opponent uses a breeding pool. Play a delighted halfling, please. Okay, Deathrite Shaman, that's also a pretty valid target for something like this, so I'm going to go ahead and lightning bolt the Deathrite Shaman. Keep him from ramping early. Let's go ahead and put down the plains and let's get out the Cold Steel Heart. I'm going to say red mana for that. You know what, actually I probably should have said white mana because we just drew the split up, but that's okay. Opponent has a Lotus Cobra. I'm going to go ahead and get out Brawl, Crackling Wit, and we're going to go ahead and get out an Otter just as a blocker more than anything else. I do plan on using a Supreme Verdict pretty soon, or maybe a Split Up, depending on what our opponent does here. Opponent's going to get some additional mana from the Lotus Cobra. Opponent's going to get an Oath of Renewal here. See what our opponent does. Oath of Renewal is an alchemy card. Basically, whenever a non-land card leaves your graveyard, you seek a non-land card. It's triggered once every turn. Kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. I wonder if our opponent's debating about attacking Brawl or maybe a lightning bolt or something. Opponent's going to actually kill off our Cold Steel Heart, trying to remove our ramp. Perfectly fine. We are getting some really expensive spells here. Let's first cast... Let's cast Tezzeret's Gambit here, which is going to allow us to proliferate as well as draw some more cards. Okay, we did draw a land, which is good. That's what I was hoping we'd get. I'm going to go ahead and draw some more cards. Wow, lots of removal here. Karn's pretty good. Maybe the River's Rebuke. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Split Up. I don't really think we need that right now. And these are some really good cards. I'm struggling. I'm gonna get rid of the tail. I want to keep the tail's end. Oh man, this is the toughest part of Magic. Let's get rid of the Wrath of God as well. We do have a couple of removal spells. I'm gonna keep the Otter back as a blocker. Opponent's gonna get out Terra and probably get back an enchantment, more than likely. Or maybe he whiffed. That would be good. Looks like he did. That's pretty much a win for us. Does he have enough mana to morph Terra? 6 mana. He's got 5 currently, so it's pretty close, actually. You should attack Brawl with your Lotus Cobra. That would be a good move. So I can kill him. We do have some ways to win this game if we can just last long enough. Land is really the biggest problem. The reason why I kept the Sink into Stupor is because you can make that a land. Worst case scenario if we don't draw anything. A River's Rebuke against our opponent will be pretty good, quite honestly. But I do want to wipe out Terra before he can transform her. Opponent's thinking. And our opponent concedes. Yep, we win without casting our commander. However, our commander would have been good with Raw on the battlefield. I am confident in the long-term game that we can win this fairly easily. Having removal for the board wipes and the River's Rebuke to bounce everything. Our opponent seemed to just be struggling a little bit on what to do next. So, good game. For this game, we are fighting Olivia, Opulent Outlaw. I don't think I've ever played against this commander. This hand has a turn 1 Ragavan to it, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. I'm hoping we can get Ragavan out, use the Lightning Bolt to clear a path. He may have a removal spell for Ragavan. That's very possible. Olivia Opulent Outlaw is a flying 3/3 lifelink, and whenever one or more outlaws you control deal combat damage to a player, you get a treasure. You can sacrifice 2 treasures to put a +1/+1 on each creature. Interesting. I have never played against this card. It's nice to see someone doing something different. That's awesome. Put down the land. I am going to just... I'm not going to cast anything else like the Smuggler's Copter. Well, I could. I do want to keep up the Magic Dampener to protect Ragavan, but let's get out the Smuggler's Copter here. We do have the mana for it, and we can keep up the treasure to protect Ragavan. See what our opponent does here. Yeah, let's cast the Magic Dampener to protect Ragavan. That did help us out. I'm going to put down a mountain. Let's swing in with Ragavan here. I'm going to bring out a Springleaf Drum. We could get out our commander here, which could be a viable threat, but I'm going to keep this up. The Fateful Absence and Lightning Bolt to deal with his side of the board. He has a Guide of Souls, very scary creature. And Bitter Blossom. I'm going to go ahead and kill the Guide of Souls now so Ragavan can swing in. Fortunately, Fateful Absence does not target enchantments. Put down the Meticulous Archive. Don't really need the Triome. I'm going to go ahead and swing in with Ragavan. Let's go ahead and get out our commander, Kilo, here. We do have up mana for a Fateful Absence. Okay, this is like a tokens deck. Very interesting. This is pretty good, actually. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put down the Chrome Mox. We are going to lose the Fateful Absence here. But then I'm going to summon the Eternal Wanderer. I'm going to tap Kilo. It will proliferate. Unfortunately, nothing at this point. Then let's use the Eternal Wanderer to get the Fairy Token out of the way so we can swing in with Ragavan, get some more treasure card. I'm going to cast his Sinkhole Surveyor as a blocker. Thank you, Ragavan. Pass the turn. Going to be drawing 2 cards a turn, which is going to prove to be a problem. This is a game where we... Soul Warden. Interesting choice for that deck. Okay, what do we do here? First things first, I'm obviously going to cast the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. He will gain some life. Let's phase out his Fairy Token here. Then we're going to use the Goblin Token, which cannot attack yet, to get the Smuggler Copter out. Then we're going to... I think we're going to swing in with everything. Let's hold back the Sinkhole Surveyor just to block his commander if he gets it out. You draw a card, discard a card. Nah, I don't really care about that. Let's proliferate our Planeswalker. He can block Ragavan with Soul Warden. I feel like we've gotten the value out of Ragavan at this point, and it will keep him from gaining life. So he is down to 9. Okay, he has Yawgmoth. Interesting choice. I'm going to discard the Supreme Verdict because we're actually doing pretty well here. Farewell. Let's get Yawgmoth off the battlefield here. He can use the Fairy Token to draw. But that does put him down to 8.
I bought us some time.
Now, I am going to crew with the Surveyor. And we are going to swing in with everything here, which should be enough damage to do fairly well. Let's draw a card. And yeah, we've got him, because what we can do is we're going to do 7 damage to him, but we can cast the Wandering Emperor, which is in our hand, put a +1/+1 on one of our creatures and do exactly 8 damage to him. I was kind of saving the farewell, we could have gotten rid of his enchantments, but since we drew the card that would do the final point of damage right here, we have the win. So good game, Olivia. That was it. I will give you kudos for playing a different commander. That was really interesting. Thank you, my friends, so much for watching another one of my videos. This one featuring Kilu, Apogee Mind. Kilo is a fun commander. It is fun to play. I would put the power level at probably about a C power level. Kilo dies to lightning bolt. You know, once you get to some of the bigger creatures on the battlefield, you're not going to be tapping with Kilo a lot, which means you have to kind of jump through some hoops to actually get that proliferate effect. But I did have fun. I had a pretty decent win rate. I will warn you, though, that I was paired against some stronger commanders in the format for this type of deck, and that's always something to be aware of when dealing with a commander where you have some hoops to jump through. Still very fun, though. The deck list is in the description below. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to leave a comment down below talking about Kilo or Magic or a commander you'd like me to look into, or why you feel like lasagna should be on the menu every single night. I don't really care as long as I get to talk to you, part of the Magic community. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.